Today's exam question is on rationalising the denominator. Let's start off with a couple of examples before we tackle the question. The whole point of rationalising the denominator is to make sure that you do not have a surd as a denominator in your fraction. In order to change this, you multiply your numerator and your denominator of your fraction by the surd. So with this example, we'll start off with 1 over square root of 2. So firstly, I multiply the numerator by the square root of 2. This will give me the square root of 2 because anything multiplied by 1 is itself. Then I will multiply the denominator by the square root of 2. The final answer is 2. This is because the square root of 2 multiplied by the square root of 2 is the same as saying the square root of 4, which is actually 2. This is your final answer and you have rationalised the denominator. Let's try another one. Now we are going to rationalise the denominator when we have 2 over the square root of 8. The first thing you need to do is to simplify the square root of 8. Anytime you have a surd that can be simplified, you should do that first. The square root of 4 multiplied by the square root of 2 is the same as having the square root of 8. So we can rewrite this as 2 over the square root of 4 multiplied by the square root of 2. Then you can simplify by dividing your numerator and your denominator by 2. This will leave you with 1 over the square root of 2, which was our first example. Therefore, you can then rationalise the denominator by multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the surd. Once again, your answer is square root 2 over 2. Let's start our exam question. The question is 5 over square root 2 plus 8 over the square root of 32. They would like you to simplify this answer whilst leaving it as a multiplied by the square root of 2. A will represent a number and your final answer may not exactly look like this, however it will involve the surd square root of 2 and it gives you a hint on what you need to simplify down to. First thing that we're going to do is simplify our fraction a over the square root of 32. Because the first fraction, 5 over the square root of 2, is already in its simplest form. If we simplify fraction, this can then be changed to 8 over the square root of 16 multiplied by the square root of 2, which then gets simplified further into 8 over 4 square root 2. You can now divide the numerator and the denominator by 4 so that the denominator is just the square root of 2. This will then leave you with our second fraction as 2 over square root 2. You can then add these two fractions together like you would with any fraction. Since the denominators are the same, you just add the numerators. That then leaves you with 7 over the square root of 2. Now that you have your most simplified surd, you can then rationalise the denominator. Therefore, you will multiply 7 over the square root of 2 with the surd square root 2. This will then leave you with 7 root 2 over 2. And that is your final answer.